So I just posted a video a couple days ago out in South Georgia looking at some southern rust and the common rust down there, and we talked about it moving north over the next 10 days. Made it to North Alabama today. I'm here with Jay Middleton taking notes. We noticed some other diseases that's present in this field. So a couple things we want to talk about that's happening over the next 10 days. Before we get to diseases, I want to talk about our refuge corn. Now, 20% of our acres is Roundup Ready, right? Non-traded, of course, they are. So if you didn't scout your refuge earlier for corn borers, you may have missed some of those flights coming in. You can still scout those, and it's too late to make any insecticide applications, and I'll show you why. But there's some things we can do from a scouting standpoint to help us with harvest. Think about when we're going to harvest those plants. So here's what we're going to look for. We're going to look for spots on that stalk where we have some little holes here. This is where that corn borer would have drilled in and in that stalk. And so when we open that stalk up, what we're going to find is we're going to find where that worm once was. That's where he was. He bored down in there, did his life cycle, and came out. Now, what's the repercussions of that? Think about this stalk as it dries down and windstorms, or you get even below 15% moisture, that's going to be a weak spot in that corn stalk. That's a place that corn stalk could rupture on you and go down. So we got to be thinking about that as we go into plant and harvest. So now let's talk about diseases. You'll see there's a kind of array of diseases present here. So Jay, talk to us a little bit about what we're seeing disease-wise, how to identify it, and then also, now, some of these we have some sprayed and unsprayed with fungicide, and we'll show you the differences there and what a fungicide truly does for you. So Jay, talk to us about the diseases.
So right here at this location, we've got pretty heavy gray leaf spot pressure. That's one of the things we were rating for today, is we were taking notes as the hybrid changed, how the response to gray leaf spot changed. This right here is the ear leaf of the untreated hybrid. Right there, see that square, how that lesion is kind of squared off on the end? That's a textbook gray leaf spot right there. And remember, this is the ear leaf, so actually lower, there's more. This is actually 5678, 2 ear leaves of the untreated, no fungicide. So here we have 5678 ear leaf with a fungicide application. Now it's probably too late to make an application on this corn. This corn is dented. If you've got some later corn, it may be beneficial to have a fungicide application. But we wanted to show the difference in the same hybrid, the ear leaf, with, I mean, there are a few lesions, but many, many less lesions. And you got to remember, these are the solar panels for the plant. This is what turns the corn, makes yield. That's what we're trying to do here. We've also got some Diplodia leaf streak. That's textbook right there, that watermark in the center, that black circle within the lesion. This, from what I've read, may or may not be linked to Diplodia ear rot, and most of the time isn't yield limiting either, but there are several lesions out here. And it seemed to be like there were less in the fungicide as well. They treated with fungicide.
Yeah, Jace, that kind of, when you first walk up on it, looks a little bit like northern corn leaf blight. But the difference is between that and northern corn leaf blight, so they really is that water spot in the middle. If you see the water spot in the middle, you know you have Diplodia. Northern corn leaf spot blight will not have that water spot. And he talked about gray leaf spot on the ear leaves, and you can kind of see this, right? As we move into different hybrids across here, some of these hybrids are fairly clean on the ear leaf. Then you move down to some other hybrids, and you can see the ear leaf really being affected by gray leaf spot. Again, that's going to reduce the amount of photosynthetic activity that plant can occur on. What else do we have from a disease standpoint, Jay, going on?
One other thing we're seeing that we were going to talk about is Physoderma brown spot. And this right here, you can see these black spots on the leaf sheath. And then also this midrib, this brown spot in the midrib is Physoderma brown spot. And I do not think that, so far we saw quite a bit of this last year, and I don't think it was a yield limiting disease. I don't think it was But you can see node breakage so far. If you shuck these leaves back, so far we haven't seen, we've maybe found one node out here that had some, look like trying to penetrate that node.
So it's really not the yield limiting, it's just a node breakage that really can get you in trouble, because then it becomes yield limiting because the corn's on the ground.
Corn's going down, that's right.
So what you'll look for is you'll peel those leaves back and you'll look for spores, black spores along this node. And we found a couple in here in the backside, and you take it and you can start kind of pricking it. You can see that stalk getting a little soft there, and you just don't want that stalk to get soft this early in the season. So that's what we're seeing here at this location. Jay, any other diseases we need to watch out for over the next 10 days?
We would still need to monitor for southern rust, and just we did not see any here, but I'm sure it's here, or it's close and it's coming, I'm sure, but we didn't see any southern rust pressure here.
Right, we talked about that coming out of the south. We're starting to pick up a few reports of maybe some southern rust in North Alabama and West Tennessee, but it just has not blown up. But we expect it with this humidity and the heat we're getting over the next 10 to 14 days to really see southern rust come on pretty strong.
And any late planted corn for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's kind of what we're seeing here at one of our research plots. That's some things you need to look out for the next 10 days. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, reach out to your Winfield United DSM, or you can call Jay or myself, or send us a text. Thanks.
Thanks.